Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of our Line Fight Zoom chats. Joined of course by Justin Kwan at the controls and Nathan Carnage Corbett with his insightful information as we hit Lion Fight 66 Friday, May 21st on UFC Fight Pass. Please note special start time for this one, 7:30 Eastern time in the US. That's 6:30 local time, Central time in the US. We'll have all the different start times for you, of course, on our website and our social media. But don't forget, special start time, 7:30 Eastern on May 21st for Lion Fight 66. Nathan, three really important bouts on this card. We're going to talk about all three of them. Let's start with the two tournament bouts. We're coming off the, I think, very successful Lion Fight North American Heavyweight Tournament semifinals, setting up Joe Stripling versus Warren Thompson for that title. And now we have the North American Super Middleweight title tournament semifinals. Let's start off with the first one. It's Rudo Tovar against Jake McKenzie, the two international flavor, if you will, a little bit with this one. Tovar from Mexico, McKenzie from Canada. Let's get your thoughts on that one. I know you've seen Rudo before, and it's a newcomer opportunity here for McKenzie. So let's get your thoughts on that first semifinal.
Yes, absolutely. And it's super exciting again as we were showing on the heavyweight tournament where the fighters get super excited because they're not just fighting for that one fight; they're fighting for the opportunity to fight on a show coming up soon, not long after that. So as a fighter who's starting for fights, they're going to get the opportunity to fight again, and not only just fight again, to get a shot at the title. So that being said, of course, doing my research, I think Jake coming into this fight is going to be explosive and very experienced in the Muay Thai arena. And I know I spoke earlier about saying that Tova is obviously a warrior. He fights MMA, he fights bare knuckle fighting, he fights anything, any place. He just wants to fight. He loves it. We had him on a few years ago, and he was a strong fighter. But the thing that I'm concerned about is his Muay Thai. This is a Muay Thai fight, and this has been proven before in the past, where a lot of fighters cross train, crossover, cross fight rules, and then they step into a Muay Thai arena against a traditionalist, or not even so much a traditionalist, but someone who focuses just on Muay Thai. That being Jake for this fight, and it's been proven before. And if we've seen him fight 2 years ago against Enrico, which is a Lion Fight champion from Italy, where he was doing well in the first few rounds because he is a champion, but then that Muay Thai experience just overpowered him over the 3, 4, and 5 rounds. He was tough. He took the punishment. He was there the whole fight. But the experience in Thai boxing alone was a dividing difference. So I feel like for this fight, of course, it's anyone's fight. We haven't seen Tova for a few years. Anything could have happened. Anything could have changed. Of course, Jake gets his first opportunity here to showcase himself as a professional from being a champion many times as an amateur. So it's going to be a great matchup. Will the style of traditional Muay Thai or focused Muay Thai fighter overcome and beat the warrior who just likes to fight any kind of rules?
Well, I think it's interesting too. You've got McKenzie, who's had that big amateur background, some IFMA tournaments, and he's been very, very successful. But he fights, in my mind, a pro style. He's got the spinning elbows, he's got the Superman punch. I think he brings a lot of maybe not so much the pro experience. He does have a couple of pro fights, but he's got a ton of amateur experience and fights like a pro. Whereas Tovar, I think for him in this case, it's a benefit coming down to 168. Like you said, he fought Enrico Carrera and a title eliminator at 175. Let's see if his toughness and experience in the overall fight game suits him a little better moving down in weight.
Yeah, I think the moving down in weight will probably help him as well. I mean Enrico Carrera, and he's obviously he's no joke. He's like the best in the world. He's an absolute savage. He's very experienced. So he kind of got thrown to the wolf straight away anyway. And he held and he held and he held and he held and he fought a great fight. It was a great battle. It was a great fight to commentate. So, again, it's an exciting matchup for our first fights of the tournament.
All right, and let's look at the other semifinal. You've got a little bit of at least home state advantage for Cody Carrillo. I think, he showed against Chance Thaxton that, yes, he's probably, he's obviously getting a little bit older. He's only 38, but he's been through a lot of wars. But man, he looked really, really good against Chance Thaxton a couple of months ago. And then we've got the very charismatic and real true warrior in Laurenti Nelson. I mean, this is an old school fight in many ways. I think you've got two guys who just will stand across from each other and go, hit me, I'll hit you, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, this one. I mean, this is the perfect matchup. As a matchmaker, you've done a good job putting these two together, because that's the kind of fight that we want to see, coming well, not next week, but May 21st. Because as we saw Carrillo, he's known as a striker, even in his MMA career. So he's known as a striker, and he proved that in that fight against Chance. He was in there, he was smashing legs. He had beautiful combinations, and he put him away early. Nice 1-2, and then hit to the body. Fight was all over. So he was really impressive that night, and showed that he wants to, continue his legacy as a fighter. He wants to show that he's a great striker. It doesn't matter, like I said, that people say is of the elder. He's like, no, I'm here and I'm still rocking it. And he proved that, which is why he's got a shot again coming up this next matchup. So, but Nelson, on the other hand, I mean, we watched him. He's the guy that everyone talks about. That he's got cement in every punch. He hits like steel. I just actually did a seminar on Saturday. I was in Texas, and I was with Washington, and we spoke about the fight. He said he does have hammers. He does hit hard. And he said he hit him with elbows, and he just looked at him and didn't even blink. So he's a warrior. He's going to take all the punishment that's going to come. I think in this matchup, Carrillo showed his power early in the fight. Will he be able to show that over 5 rounds? I'm not too sure, because I know Nelson will. Nelson will not go anywhere. He's going to be there for the 5 rounds, as he proved against Washington. And just a great battle of two absolute warriors.
I think it's going to be a fun fight, because LT's got that. He's got the charisma, he's got a little bit of flair to his game and all that kind of thing, where Cody is, he's straightforward. He's as blue collar as it gets. So, I think and you made an interesting point. If this gets into the deep waters, does Cody still have the stamina to go 3, 4, 5 rounds? We saw LT go 5 rounds, but didn't really have a lot of offense after maybe about 3 rounds. So in some ways, this fight could be who can survive the first, couple of rounds, and who has anything left after that.
Oh, I mean, this is a dream matchup for both fighters. It's a dream matchup. Exactly where their skill level, their levels, their intensity, their styles. Like, this is the fight that you want to tune in and watch. And if you don't know their names, you'll know their names after this fight.
Yeah, sure. There's going to be a highlight with one of their names on it for sure. Yeah. So. All right, so let's tackle the main event for May 21st, Line Fight 66 on UFC Fight Pass. I don't know if there's a whole lot more that we can say or show about Steve Walker that people go, well, I don't know about him. This guy he's just spectacular. He's going to have a veteran across from him in Devorius Tubbs, who very gallantly stepped up to take the fight. He said right away after Steve's big knockout a couple of months back that he wanted a shot at Steve. So you got to instantly give Tubbs some credibility for wanting to take that fight. Is there anything beyond a puncher's chance that Tubbs would have in this fight?
Yeah, look, Scott, this is something. I mean, I'm an analyst. I have to just say it how I see it. I've got to call it as it is. I never like to put anyone down or put anyone, in a position that, sounds like I'm saying something wrong. But I just don't, in my personal opinion, I just don't think he belongs in there against Steve Walker. Like, Steve Walker right now, he's 10-0. He's 10-0, but he's not just 10-0. He's knocking everyone out. He's I mean, I just seen him on Instagram the other day. He's practicing now from a teep kick catch to a jumping out of that kick, to kick with the other leg and then landing still on his feet. He's just one of those freak kind of guys that can do stuff, and he's strong and he's confident. As we saw on the last Zoom call with him, he's now kind of turning up the heat where he's just like, I want to hurt people. I want to finish people. I'm not the nice guy anymore. He's always going to be the nice guy, but he's turning it up. So, you know, I've obviously done some research on Tubbs. You know, he has some skill sets. You know, he hasn't fought for a little while. He's got obviously huge, big, you know, these things to step in there after watching, you know, Kolak get dropped in like the first 5 seconds with a, you know, with a right hook, and then obviously a jump kick and a spinning cyclone kick knockout, and then just stepped up and said, look, you know, I'll take this man on, no problem, and doesn't even blink an eye, doesn't even like get nervous, doesn't get red in the face about it. So clearly, you know, he's an absolute warrior. Has he bitten off more than he can chew? I think he has. I think he's going to have a rude awakening come the fight night. But in saying that, you know, every fighter, every man has a chance when they step in there, and if they're prepared and they've done the fitness, and I believe he will. And he's obviously, like I said, with a great fight camp. He's been training a lot of good champions. He has the, you know, the depth of sparring partners. So he might surprise us. You know, in some ways, I hope he surprises us and puts on a good fight. But, you know, of course, without putting my money on anyone, because I'm neutral, my money still would have to be on, you know, the champion, Steve Walker.
I think what Tubbs would have going for him is he has seen a little bit of Steve's flashiness, and maybe he knows as a veteran a couple of things that he can do to counteract that. I don't think he's going to get fazed by anything in terms of like, wow, I didn't see that coming, because he has seen Steve. He knows what Steve can do. But you know, you just look at it and go, Walker he's a special type of fighter. I mean, we say all the things about him, and he laughs about it. Yes, he's awkward. Yes, he's unorthodox. You know, he does kind of different things, and they're out of the blue, but he pulls them off. That's the thing. Like, he doesn't just, you know, threaten to do these types of unorthodox things. He really makes it work for himself. And I think that's what has stirred a lot of interest and fan appeal in him, is that he is this incredible athlete, but has all this awkward, unorthodox craziness to his fights. But he can pull off great things.
He can pull off great things, and he's proven that in many fights. And look, there's no one in America right now that I believe can beat Steve Walker. So, you know, full credit to Tubbs to take that challenge.
Absolutely.
And we're going to give, and we're in a position right now, you know, to give Americans and people here the opportunity to shine, because, you know, with COVID restrictions, everything else going on, you know, this is a great opportunity for these people to be, you know, seen and showcase their skills. So it's an opportunist time in the world right now for fighters to get a chance to step up and throw those bombs. You know, like I said, anyone can win once they step in there. But Steve Walker is a wrecking machine. You know, he's not only talented, but he's also a southpaw, and he's a little bit, you know, like we said, not awkward, but he's got his own cadence going on. So it's just too much to deal with. But hey, there's been a lot of things happening in the fights recently, so we'll just have to watch them when the bell rings.
Well, we'll watch it on Friday, May 21st on UFC Fight Pass. It'll be Line Fight 66, headlined with Steve Walker against Devorius Tubbs. Nathan, thank you so much for this. We are just a couple of days away now from this fight card, so I hope everybody tunes in and enjoys it, and then we'll be back for more shortly after that. So we'll see you again soon.